In this WrestleTalk news, all of the news you missed over WrestleMania weekend. Cody on the personal matter that caused him to leave AEW, his contract situation, Ronda Rousey responds to her own WrestleMania drama, plus the real reason some matches were moved, cut short and changed, and all of the producers for the show have been revealed. So subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
Happy Viermas, folks! The long walk to Raw ends tonight. And I don't know about you, but WrestleMania weekend has left us here at WrestleTalk thoroughly sports entertained, and Veer finally showing up on Raw might just be the icing on the cake. If he does show up. You might not. The soft, gooey, hilarious middle of said cake is obviously Vince McMahon taking that stunner from last night's show, because ultimately, Vince sold the absolute pants off the setup kick to the gut and then collapsed like gravity had just been switched up to 11 when Austin hit what would actually be the finisher portion, the stun of the stunner, if you will. Now, there's been plenty of fun had with this online, with Mick Foley specifically enjoying the hell out of the spot. First of all, asking if it's the worst stunner ever, answer yes on Twitter, and then posting his reaction. Genuine tears. As Jackass Forever worked out, the only thing funnier than a man falling over is an old man falling over. And to be fair, even Austin was caught laughing his ass off as he pulled McMahon up to hit the move on the show, because it was hilarious. Now, in one of wrestling's worst kept secrets, Cody Rhodes obviously returned to WWE on Saturday night to face and ultimately triumph over Seth Rollins in a crowd-pleasing return. Cody has been in and out of interviews since then, talking about everything from his contract status, his reunion with the WWE roster, and the real reason he left AEW. Speaking with Variety, Cody said that it was just time for him to get out of AEW and mentioned a personal matter. He later told Ariel Helwani that he chose to remain silent about his departure from AEW, and I'm going to keep my word on that. He said there were things about money and creative control. They were printed as fact, and it's been a very difficult 2 months to see that. It was a personal matter, and we couldn't move past it. I have nothing but respect for Matt, Nick, and Kenny, and I'm rooting for Tony Khan, adding, I felt like we were drifting apart. I can't comment on the personal nature. It was nothing nefarious or scandalous, just we couldn't agree. Nothing but respect for him, his family, and the infrastructure there. And ultimately, people both sides of the divide in WWE, in AEW, and elsewhere in the wrestling universe have been pleased to see Cody perform at Mania with plenty of love pouring out on Twitter. Though the Young Bucks did opt for a typically comedic response, updating their bio to say, WTF, I thought we were doing All In too. Cody's also revealed some facts about his contract with WWE, first of all announcing that he has signed a new multi-year deal with the E, and he's going to be executive producing A&E's biography, WWE Legends documentary about his father, Dusty Rhodes. Then, in an interview with The Ringer, Rhodes said that he was all in with WWE, and it may be the most complex document ever drawn out in the history of our game. This is a full multi-year commitment, not a part-time deal. Adding, they bet on me, so I'm going to bet on WWE. I'm really looking forward to it. Maybe the complexity comes from Cody also doing all the TV stuff that he was doing outside of wrestling. Young Master Rhodes is also the first major name to leave AEW and go to WWE, and as one of the founders of AEW, this is obviously a landmark moment in wrestling when you think about it. And while Cody and WWE seem to have reached a deal they're both happy with and are letting bygones be bygones, there must be some awkward moments at this reunion. There must have been. After all, Cody took his fair share of shots at the company when he left and founded AEW. One person he really hammered home some points about was Triple H. Cody told the media scrum yesterday that he did have a reunion with Trips on his bus while waiting for his match on Saturday, saying everybody had come on the bus to say hello, talk a little bit about what may happen, and the very last one was Triple H. My former assistant from AEW came as a friend, and he was on the bus, and he knows the world's worst kept secret that Hunter is my favorite wrestler. He said the reunion was actually really touching, and especially you got to put it in perspective. I talked a lot of smack, I destroyed his throne, I was very loud, very intent on getting angry. I was just angry, and that was just a moment of no anger. Because why would you be angry? You guys are paying me this absurd amount of money, and I get to be me. I get to be me, and especially coming from where I had left here, there's nothing to be angry about. Now, obviously, the wrestling rumor mill was in full force this weekend, especially with Cody defecting from one brand to another in the reverse direction of the way that everyone else is going too. He's a trailblazer. But one person found themselves the subject of some rumors that they wanted to dispute, and they were quite negative, really. Because Ronda Rousey was said by many to be upset with the placement of her match on the WrestleMania card on Saturday night. She faced Charlotte Flair in the penultimate match on the show before Stone Cold Steve Austin returned to wrestle Kevin Owens. I'm gonna be honest with you, gang, That's a fine place to be on the card because it's very near the main event and nobody wants to have the job of following Stone Cold Steve Austin's return to wrestling, do they? Come on. But the report said that Rousey was furious at her placement on the card and had even allegedly walked out ahead of the Hall of Fame ceremony. Something Rousey tweeted to dispute on Sunday, putting the rumors to bed, saying, "I don't know where these reports come from, but it was an absolute honor to perform under Steve Austin at WrestleMania in Texas." She said, "I wasn't at the WWE Hall of Fame because I have a 6-month-old baby I had to put to sleep early. People are literally creating drama out of thin air." There she is, putting the rumors to bed, just like a 6-month-old baby. Elsewhere on Saturday's show, Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch put on a brilliant match with the EST of WWE picking up the win to become the Raw Women's Champion. Good for you, Bianca. In a really cool little side note, it turns out that Bianca's gear for the match was actually designed by a fan, as TBH Key on Twitter said that they had designed the gear back in 2020. You would lose your mind if that happened to you. Absolutely lose your mind. But the thing about WrestleMania though, it is a beast. It's 2 nights, there's loads of video packages, huge entrances, an ungodly number of video packages, matches, sports entertainment, more video packages, mostly video packages. Keeping things to time must be pretty tough overall, which is why WWE usually builds in flex matches to allow for time to be cut or filled as necessary. This is what happened to New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland, and why the match, which was being billed as a tribute to Big E, went so short, with New Day losing out to Whiskey and Crisps in short shrift. Now, Fightful Select reported that the match was always planned to be the shortest on the show, but had originally been viewed as a 6-man tag until E's injury. They wrote, "This match was always expected to be the flex match that could be moved if time was short. However, we're told that at least one person involved with the match appeared to be very upset about it, as they were only budgeted for 10 minutes with entrances as is." That's a stupendously short amount of time. There was also speculation about Drew McIntyre's report stated that his planned entrance on Saturday was cancelled for time, instead sort of opting for this medium pomp and circumstance version with still the sword and loads of flames. Now, according to Fightful Select, McIntyre's special entrance was originally set to include a group of men and women called the Kilted Warriors, but Drew made the call to nix them from the show. It was reported that McIntyre didn't feel like the additions enhanced the entrance, and word is that he wanted to connect more to the crowd than by doing something much more over the top. So, while New Day was pushed to a separate day for time and cut short, McIntyre's entrance wasn't part of that discussion. It was also reported that all of the performers brought in were still paid for their time, and they got to use their all-access passes at the stadium, so that's a big win for them. Finally, the producers for all of the matches on what, all in all, was a really fun, and I'll say it because I'm still not entirely sure what it actually means, it was a stupendous show. Now, across the weekend, Chris Park produced Drew versus Corbin and the freeway tag on night 2. Adam Pearce took charge of Lashley and Omos and teamed with Shane Helms for the Miz and Logan Paul versus the Mysterios. Helms also teamed with Ken Doane to produce the Anything Goes match between Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville. The idea of the Hurricane in charge of that just have this nice sort of poetry to it. Tyson Kidd, Sean Daivari and Molly Holly produced the women's tag title match, with Kidd and Holly also producing Belair versus Lynch. Good on them. Daivari also took charge of Nakamura and Boogs versus the Usos. Jamie Noble produced Cody and Seth, as well as Pat McAfee and Austin Theory, and current production Golden Boy P.T. Williams worked with Ken Doane on New Day versus Suspended Defenders, and Williams also produced AJ versus Edge. Pat Buck was the one who took on Chaz and Rousey and worked with Michael Hayes on Brock versus Roman, while Hayes oversaw Austin's return to the ring in the match with Kevin Owens. Give these people their flowers, please.
Roman Reigns has all the titles and, seemingly, a dislocated shoulder. Stone Cold Steve Austin made his shock return after not wrestling at WrestleMania for a whole 24 hours. And celebrities might now be actual better sports entertainers than actual wrestlers.